You're listening to the Low Pressure Podcast, the podcast for skiers.
Presented by CMH Heli Skiing and Peak Performance.
The Low Pressure Podcast is sponsored by CMH Heli Skiing, where you can choose from 11 unique locations and experiences, including 4, 5, 6, and 7-day signature trips, the brand new single-day trips. You can do small groups with just you, 4 friends, and a guide, or the private and exclusive, where you get the whole place just to yourself. So find your next adventure at cmhheli.com. The Low Pressure Podcast is also sponsored by Peak Performance. There are many ways to make it down a mountain, but the best line is your line. And the adventure is there, so make it yours. Visit peakperformance.com and get the gear to unlock your freeride spirit. Stinius.
Yes.
So, I was looking at your name, and I wasn't even gonna attempt to approach how to pronounce it properly.
Yeah.
Yeah, can you help me out here?
Yeah, it's a really old Norwegian name.
Mm-hmm.
So, also Norwegian struggles with my name.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So it's not a surprise that people over here find it hard, but it's Stinius Skjøtskift.
Short shift.
Yeah. I sometimes, when I'm gonna like try to teach people how we say it, it's
Write it in English, like phonetically.
Shot, like a shot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Shift.
Shot shift.
Yeah. That's a good way to say it.
Yeah, shot shift.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah,
I was thinking like short shift, like.
Yeah, but when you see like the
O
with the line, it's like, oh, it looks so complicated. But
yeah, you don't. Yeah. Oh, have other people with that name in Norway like changed it to like an easier spelling? Do you know what I'm talking about?
I know. No, I don't think so. But I know because there was, there's so many Norwegians way back that traveled to America.
Yeah, so many.
And
a lot of Scandinavians, like Minnesota and like Thunder Bay, Canada,
and Washington as well.
Oh yeah.
And I have some family in Washington,
mm-hmm.
and they changed the name to Skjøtskift, like SHUD.
Skjøtskift.
Skjøtskift.
Huh.
That was like the easiest
way. Yeah.
So I think if I ever run into some people with the name Skjøtskift, I don't know if that's ever gonna happen.
Me?
We're probably gonna be
related in some way.
Yeah.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah. So hopefully it's gonna.
So, what part of Norway are you from?
I'm from pretty central, maybe a little more south, but like in this small valley called Oppdal.
Mm-hmm.
It's a small ski town.
I've heard of it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we have some clips from that place in some old level 1 movies.
Right.
We used to have like a really sick terrain park back in days. It's a small ski town, 8,000 people, pretty quiet in the weekdays.
Yeah.
But in the weekends it's a lot of people because so many people have their cabins there and they come there for the
right
weekend.
How far away from like Oslo is it?
From Oslo it's 5 hours ish north.
So it's not terribly. It's not like out of the question for like a 3-day weekend. I bet you people
exactly, and we have like pretty good train system, so you can arrive at Oslo airport, jump on the train, and straight to the town.
Right.
Instead of like there's so many good towns where you have to like do 1 train and 2 buses, to get to, but to Oppdal you can just go straight on the train.
So after being able to travel through like Europe for the last few years,
yeah,
and just seeing how great the trains are there,
yeah,
what is your thoughts on like going from that to like coming here where it's like almost impossible to get anywhere unless you have a car or a truck?
Yeah, it's for sure a little different. Here it's so much like everybody just so used to drive like
for like a long way.
Yeah, for like so far like 10 hours is nothing over here, I feel, but I guess it's something you get used to. But
yeah, like a 5-hour drive for us is light work.
Yeah, exactly. And like 5 hours Norway, like also in Norway the roads are just so like
Windy.
Yeah, so it takes some time to drive, but still it's like if you compare Norway to Canada, it's like just tiny.
Yeah.
So here, like, people drive for 10 hours plus, and it's like nothing. And if you drive 10 hours plus in Norway, you can go pretty far.
Right.
Yeah.
So when you like get together with like other Norwegians, like when you're in Canada, say like you'll run into another Norwegian or another Scandinavian, like do you guys talk about like what you noticed or the similarities or like what's weird about this like North American continent?
Yeah, sometimes we do, but like something I've been thinking about, like, imagine having a train going from Vancouver to Pemby or even further.
Right?
Like,
there used to be one, and then there was there's like the Rocky Mountaineer, which is like a train in the summertime.
Yeah.
Which is like a tourist train for like old people mostly. But yeah, like it makes sense to have a commuter train from Vancouver to say Function Junction.
Yeah. Like
the roads. So yesterday I have a friend who plows here in town. He drives the plow truck and he calls me. He's like, "Hey, what's going on?" I'm like, "Oh, not much. Just sitting." I was thinking about maybe going to get some dog food. Function. He goes, "Don't do that." I was like, "What?" He's like, "I've never seen the roads this bad ever."
Yeah.
Ever. And like they were backed up all the way up to like Alpine, and the mountain isn't even up there. Like people will drive that way thinking they can get it way quicker, and then that was at like 4:30, and it's a Sunday afternoon. Everybody's gonna head back to Vancouver. Understood. Like the roads are gonna be bad. You just don't leave, right? And then I took her for a walk. 7:30 and the like up the road, and the roads were still like backed all the way up.
Yeah,
is nuts.
Exactly, because I was gonna drive from Pemberton last night to get some boot work, and I had an appointment at 6, and I got to the shop 7:30.
Oh,
so I was just stuck in town. I was like, "What? I did not."
So you were like, I probably walked right by your car while you were sitting in traffic.
Probably. I had no idea the traffic was going to be so bad.
It would be smart, right? Like just thinking about even like cities in Canada and the US, like why isn't there a European or a Japanese style like speed train system? And I think it has a lot to do with like the airline lobby. I don't know. This is what I've heard, but airlines. Well, why do we want people to not fly from this town to this town, and it's a half an hour flight, or it's a 3-hour drive, or it could be like a 45-minute train trip, right? Like all the way up the east coast of the United States into Montreal, Toronto, all those major cities, even like the west coast, like it would just make sense.
I don't know, I feel it's just a little old school thinking.
Yeah, there's got to be a reason for it. Everyone's like, why aren't there trains here? I think it's expensive. B, I think there's a lot of industries that are keeping it down. Yeah. Like they're preventing it from happening. Yeah. I think so. Yeah. I don't know though. But you've been on. You spent some time on some speed trains. Are there any in Oslo or in Norway, or just regular trains?
Yeah, just regular trains.
But you were on speed trains when you were in Japan, right?
Yeah. Like last year and also this year, I did most of my traveling on trains.
Yeah,
I like it.
Yeah,
you of course have to I had to travel this year from pretty far south to up north to Hokkaido. Mm-hmm. And I could probably faster maybe to do the flight from Tokyo to Sapporo. But I just think it's more chill.
It's faster. I've considered the same thing. Did you go take the train up and then take the boat across?
No, just the train.
Yeah, and then because it's a long trip.
And it's like even though it may be a little longer, it's just for me it's just all about not stressing, and it's just so much more relaxing to just move your bags from one train to another instead of
in theory. In theory, yes. Yeah. Like I've had some pretty funny Japanese train stories where I remember the very first time I went to Japan.
Yeah.
And it'd been a long travel day. I was there by myself. I was gonna go meet some people in a lodge, and I ended up in I don't know, Tokyo Station, or one of the busiest subway stations ever. I'm exhausted. I got all my stuff. This is in 2007. So no cell phones. There's cell phones, but there's no smartphones. So I'm I had no idea what I was doing. I had no idea where to go. I had no idea like how to figure it out because I was just so frazzled and fried that I literally just put my gear in the center of like hundreds, thousands of people walking by me. I just sat there for like half an hour. I was like, I just need to chill out, man, because like having to like grab all of your, you know, your ski bag and your backpack and in your like your duffel or whatever it is, and have to like go from one train to another train in like, I got 20 minutes or I got 10 minutes. I'm like, what platform is it on? Or like, you know that game of like,
you really have to be focused. Like I went to, of course, Japan last year, but this year I was traveling by myself. And I felt I really had to be like focused on.
Yeah, it's kind of fun, but at the same time, it's
it was a good challenge. I think I like
challenge. Just a good word for it. Like it's like it's relaxing when the train's moving and you're cruising and you can walk around. And, but like those like in betweens where you have to like get and change. Like I was in the Czech Republic a couple years ago after FWT event. We went to go to like a park slope event, and I needed to get to Engelberg. And I was like, it's going to cost me this much for a flight, and it's going to take this long, or it's going to be a 13-hour train ride with 8 transfers. And it would have saved me like a couple $100, but I was like, 8 transfers? No way. Because the longest I'd be on one route or one line would have been like an hour and a half. So you'd like chill for an hour and a half, and then you'd have to like, the adrenaline gets all up and you get all flustered and like, all right, I gotta find my new spot. So I'd have to do that like 8 times in a day. I was like, no, I'm flying.
That's pretty hectic.
Yeah, a little bit hectic. So the reason you were in Japan last year, or one of the reasons, is because you were filming a really cool film with Arcteryx called Lexicon. So what was that all about? I could read, like I just read you the synopsis.
We can just take it from the beginning.
Yeah, get in there.
Yeah. So that whole project started with me and the filmmaker and the producer of the movie, Loic. We're just talking about, damn, it would be so cool to just go to Japan. We've never been there.
That's how those conversations usually start.
We just started talking about that like early in the summer. Like, wow, it will be so good. And I've been following this skier on Instagram for a while. His name is Tayo, and he's also an Arcteryx ambassador. Been following him for a while. I like love his style. He got like the best turns. Like for me, him and Hoji got the best turns in the game. And I was like just DMing him like, damn, I would love to come over, and he was like, yeah, you should come. And he doesn't speak that. He speaks pretty good English, but he doesn't speak like
super fluent. Yeah.
But he got a good friend of him named Yasu that is also his, like they just go out and shoot, film and photos a bunch. So
his mountain partner.
Yeah. So they always go out. So Yasu kind of came in the mix as well, and we organized this meeting with Yasu, Tayo, and me and Loic. And Loic is also an Arcteryx athlete, and we're like, yeah, we would love to come. We were planning to shoot this, just like maybe a small project where we just shoot some stuff ourselves, keep it super mellow. And they were like so stoked, and we reached out to Arcteryx to try to get some funding to do this project. And they were like, wow, they were really stoked.
Yeah.
So they're like, yeah, we want to do it. We should do it maybe bigger. We should try to bring some other athletes as well.
Yeah.
So then we reach out to Edgar Chelus from France. We reach out to Maud Bess from Switzerland, Tom Pfeiffer from Canada. So we kind of just started from being this really small project to this big project with all these riders from all around the world.
Yeah. And was it the intention to like get people, because that's kind of one of the themes of the film, is like you're on this trip with 6 skiers, 5 skiers, 6 skiers.
I think it's 6. It's just it's a lot of people,
and every single one is from a different place.
Yeah, so that kind of happened like
just organically.
A little, exactly. So like we have riders from all over the world. like, I think it was just Tom that's been to Japan before.
Yep.
So we're all like first time in Japan, everybody from all around the world going to meet Yasu and Tayo. And they were just going to show us around. And we feel like when I got off the plane in Tokyo, I felt I was like in a different world. I was completely mind-blown.
Isn't it cool?
Yeah, it's so cool. And that was like my first time ever experiencing anything like that. That was also my first time in Asia, so that was like everything for me was so new, and yeah, for sure an really unreal experience.
So the film itself, so that's really cool how, and I always wonder about that too. Yeah. It's like, see, because like companies like say North Face and increasingly now with Arcteryx with their like the Arcteryx Films on the website, which there's a ton of really cool, really unique films to watch, and I've been becoming a little bit more aware of them because we met at IF3 last year. So I see a lot of films, but they are really kind of developed. They're almost like a film company now. Yeah, but not ski porn.
No,
they don't have the classics, and they have ski porn. There's like really interesting stories behind it, and I've spoken to so many people who develop films like this and these cool projects, and I always wonder like, do a lot of these, because I know some people are just really creative, and does the idea just pop into their head and they're like, oh, this is what I want to do? Is it fully formed? And well, apparently not. Sometimes it just happens that way, right?
Yeah, and that's exactly what happened on this one. We were all just really keen to go to Japan because none of us had ever been there before. And
of course, everyone.
So we went there, and we just want to shoot good skiing, and we kind of felt there was some issues with some language barriers because not all of us like speaks
English,
really good English,
right?
Like some of the other Europeans, like the English is not like the best, so it's like there's some issues, of course, but the whole thing is like when we're all in the mountain and we ski, we all connect, and you really don't have to speak together. We all speak the same language, and that's skiing. So that's something we kind of figure out during the shooting of this project. Like, whoa, this is some unique.
And so it's like the theme of the film kind of came together during.
Yeah, exactly.
So you didn't go there thinking, hey, this is the project that we want to do. It just kind of naturally happened that way. You're like, hey, this is what we're experiencing now is the story.
Exactly. And that's how it should happen. I feel to get the best stories, it should just happen by itself instead of like forcing something before you going out to shoot it, I think.
Right.
Yeah,
interesting, because like you want like the whole plan is like, we'll just go ski some POW in Japan. We just want to get some footage of like shredding in those zones that I've been watching forever, and then being able to identify, this is kind of what's happening right now. I kind of see that way when I do episodes or seasons of the podcast. Themes will emerge partway through, and you're like, oh, actually this is similar to that episode, and then we talked about this, like conversational themes. So I always really enjoy when that happens. I'm like, oh, that's actually okay, because that's what this season is to me when I think back on it, right? And it kind of sounds like that's what it is with that for you.
Yeah, for sure. Like this, I've been doing like some bigger projects the last year, but this one really stands out from the rest. I think it's just the connection we all got after experiencing this super light Japanese snow for the first time together. It's never really experienced anything like that before.
And then away from the skiing part, but being able to like have this connection with each other. And I love that through the film they weave in narration from like yourself speaking Norwegian, and then Tom in English, and then Maud and Edgar in French, and they don't put subtitles, which I thought was really cool as well, because that kind of is kind of showing us what you guys experienced. But like when you're off the mountain and you're hanging out with these people, we're all here for a common goal. and it's fun to kind of learn and explore about people.
Yeah.
But you have to figure out how to do it in a different way rather than just asking them.
Yeah, yeah.
You know?
Yeah, for sure. It's like...
I'm sure Google Translate came in handy
I think it should be subtitles on...
Maybe just... I watched it again. I watched it before, then I watched it again. Now, I may have just turned off the CC.
Maybe because for sure we all want to do like interviews and stuff in our own languages. Just because like... Yeah, we're actually people from all around the world right now.
Right.
So we should like...
I should probably double check that. I watched it. I watched it a couple weeks ago, and then I watched it again. Like
it should be.
Okay.
And we're like, we kind of have to like, I don't know, take advantage that we're people from all around the world, and and it's also so much better to sometimes express yourself in your own language.
Oh, 100%.
So that's makes it more unique and more real.
Right.
I feel.
And then like for someone like yourself, like all the Scandies, English is like I don't think I've met a Scandinavian that doesn't speak English.
Yeah, it's I feel every Scandinavian speaks pretty good English.
Yeah, it's just you just learned it in school, and it's like, here we go. Yeah,
we started I think like 2nd grade or something.
Yeah. And then does everybody watch like English TV and movies and stuff like that?
Yeah, for sure. Video games, TV.
Yeah.
Netflix.
Yeah, exactly. So it's I guess it's kind of natural for yourself, but
I think the reason is maybe in some other European countries they dub a lot, like they put
they have like in Spain they have a Spanish guy who does Homer Simpson,
and I think that's really exactly, and I think that's really makes a little difference
when you hear the original version. Like did you have like a Norwegian Homer Simpson? Or
everything is, I think, I'm pretty sure we don't really dub anything in Norway. Everything is in English.
So I remember talking to someone about this once years ago. I actually forgot all about this, and he's like, in Spain, like Homer Simpson is like there's like a Spanish Homer Simpson that voices Homer Simpson. And he's like, the first time I ever heard the real Simpsons, it like blew my mind. I'm like, what is this different voice? Who is this guy? I'm like, oh my god, that's the real Homer, right? Because he'd always just watch the dub versions of those shows.
Yeah, for sure.
I always like cartoons. I can understand, but like films, when the voice doesn't match up with the mouth.
Yeah, it's weird.
I always thought that would be kind of strange.
Yeah, it's strange. It's strange.
That's cool. So like Lexicon is a really neat film, and then there's like the Backcountry Academy, which was this past week, and which highlights a lot of their films as well. It's not really like Backcountry I hadn't attended one before, and I was like, they do a bunch of clinics and that sort of thing.
This was your first time?
Yeah, I don't know if I had been to...
Last year was the first year, so...
Yes, it's the first time I'd been to... Because I know they do them in the summertime as well. They do them in Europe as well. Like, they've really put a lot of energy into these backcountry academies, but it's really more of a festival than it is...
It's just about
anything else.
Getting the community together.
Yeah, and they did such a great job. Like, they invited me out to watch the Continuum film that Michelle Parker and Robin Van Gyn produced. It's got Spencer O'Brien in it. It's got Lucy Sackbauer, Tatum and Node, and it's about that tent that they basically make out of old jackets. And then they bring it to a bunch of different spots. And so they invited me kind of for like a special viewing of that, which was really neat.
Nice.
And then a bunch of people went out for dinner and got a chance to like chat with each other about the films and about what they do within the company, that sort of stuff. And then the other 2 nights at the conference center, the big film nights that was awesome. Yeah. Like really, really good job. And so I was like taking photos and like snooping and paying attention just because, from IF3 putting on festivals, I was like, all right, what are they doing here? How are they setting this up? But like watching Slides Down the Mountain, which was a great film with the boys up in Pemberton, the native boys in Pemberton going to ski Mount Curry. Spencer O'Brien's film Ether 5 that Leo Horn produced.
That one is
crazy. Blew my mind apart. Like,
so next
level. Blew my hair back, man. Like, that was nuts. Like, Leo, I've always known has been a very good cinematographer. I actually had him on the show when he was working for the Sherpas back in the day.
Oh, he was working for them?
Yeah.
Sick.
Yeah, he was a big part of Sherpas for like All I Can Film, Into the Mind, I believe, as well.
That.
Yeah, that's a lot of the best, a lot of my favorite cinematographers and filmmakers these days have gone through, Sherpas. Like CK9 worked for Sherpas.
Oh.
And they kind of worked their way and then started doing their own thing.
Interesting.
Leo is on his own program now, and like that guy's just a wizard with the camera.
Yes.
Like if you get like everybody, like I don't think it's released yet, Ether 5, I'm not sure, but it's coming soon, and you can get it on that Arcteryx Films page on the Arcteryx like website. So many cool movies on there. So I kind of got lost in there the other night.
Yeah, and on YouTube, of course.
Yeah, on YouTube as well. That Ether 5, they used the Phantom camera, which is like 1,000 frames a second, and I've never seen anything like it, man.
No.
Like one turn, one snowboard slash that they milk to like 45 seconds to a minute, like just one slash, but it never isn't interesting. It's like you can see
so many details,
every single grain or every single like individual grain of like snow in like the slash, and like the way the light flare goes. It was like I got goosebumps. I was sitting there. I think I was watching it with sitting next to Tanya.
Nice.
And we just looked at each other. We're like, "What is happening? Like, what is this?" It was so cool.
Yeah,
so cool. It's neat that their Arcteryx is kind of in the last 5 years really kind of shifted their. I don't know, like they've just kind of shifted what they are.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah.
Right. I always used to joke that they always had like the skinny technical skimo gear, and
it's a little different now.
They're a backcountry company. Do you know what I mean? But now they're like a full-on mountain culture company.
I know.
And they're really investing into it. Everything from, working with like a great athlete team now.
Yeah.
Bringing all these freeride athletes, talking to them about, hey, how do we make our stuff look better?
Yeah.
And then all this money they're putting into these really cool films. I think they're doing a really good job.
Yeah, it's the sickest.
How long have you been with them for?
Since I got on 2018-19.
Oh, so a little while.
So I was the youngest on the team for a bit.
Yep.
Yeah, it kind of changed my whole life.
Yeah,
getting on that team.
How did they find you? Like, so what's I don't really know your I don't really know your history a lot.
No, the whole history. It's kind of funny. I have a racing background in skiing, and I have some freestyle background.
Yeah, in Uppal.
Yeah, in Oppdal.
You said that they used to have a park.
Yeah, they used to have a really good park, and then they kind of stopped. Those years I got more into freeriding, so around 2016. But right now they're really good again. So
really?
This year they're back. So that's
you got to go back for a visit and like do a home shoot.
Yeah, exactly. I should.
Are you part of like Are you like on their team?
Yeah, they don't really have a team, but I get a season pass.
Yeah, you'll get taken care of.
Yeah. So I'm stoked about that. But yeah, the story about me getting into the industry is kind of random. I think I was like competing in slope style and big air for a bit when I was like from I guess 13 till 16 or something.
Were you on like the World Cup circuit or?
No, just like in Norway, super mellow. Of course, always had the dream of like becoming a pro skier, like X Games, all that kind of stuff was always a dream. And then like during high school, I was like kind of starting to just accepting that, that's probably not gonna happen,
Yeah.
So I was like starting to look for some other stuff to do.
Like jobs.
Yeah, like
work.
Yeah. Some jobs, and I was looking into going into the military.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Do you have a mandatory in Norway?
Yeah, you do. So after high school, when you're 18, everybody kind of have to go into the military.
Really?
But if you're struggling with some, for example, back issues, or if you have some kind of illness, you can get out of it because there's so many people that really want to go. But I was keen to go in. you have to go to this physical test.
Where
they test you. And I was like, I did a test, and you have to talk with this doctor, and he asked me if I had some issues, and I said I was allergic to antibiotics.
Are you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm just allergic to one special kind of antibiotics.
Right.
So he was like, "Oh, okay, you can't get in." Like, so
what?
I couldn't get into the military. So I was like,
"Are you like, what the hell, man? I want to do this."
Yeah, I was really bummed. So I went back home, talked with my doctor, and like sending letters and stuff, because you always send letters to the military because it's so old school or something.
But not emails.
Yeah,
not like an actual letter.
Yeah, like an actual letter. So we made it work. So I got into the military.
Mm-hmm.
So this was happening in the fall, and I got in the military in May, like half year after.
Right.
So I was like, okay, I have like let's do my last like ski season. I had I was just working as a DJ. Wanted to ski a bunch.
Yeah.
And I was like, been skiing a lot, like by myself usually, because I was one of the only that was still in town, because a lot of my friends
they all left.
went out to study and stuff to the bigger cities. I was like kind of still stuck in town, didn't really know what to do, and I was like, because the park was just getting worse and worse, so I wasn't skiing that much park anymore. So I was skiing mostly like freeride in the resort, a lot by myself. And I never knew like my level or something of my skiing, because I was always skiing for myself.
Right.
So I was like, got also this other friend, and maybe I should try to do this Norwegian Freeride Cup this season, just to check how it goes. And I signed up for this comp. It was 3 hours away.
Where?
Vågå, it's called.
Yeah. I don't know it.
No, it's a really small town, but with a really strong like freeride culture. It's crazy. Went there, did the comp, and I won the comp. My first like real freeride comp. I was like, what? Like, I was so shocked. I remember I was crying.
Oh, really?
I never really...
Tears of joy.
Yeah, I'd never really won like anything like that before. So it was like such a big shock. And then I did another comp that I also won later. And I ended up, at the end of that, I ended up becoming I won the whole Freeride Cup. So I got
the Norwegian Freeride Cup.
Yeah,
really?
so I got like a national champion my first year.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? And, like, people were saying like, damn, you have to, because there was like a pretty strong like freeride community in these comps.
Yeah.
So I was like the underdog.
You're like the random guy. Like, who's this guy?
Yeah, exactly. I came from nowhere. I remember people were laughing because I was skiing with even though it was raining on this comp, I was having like this cotton hoodie under my shell jacket, and I was just getting soaked.
Just a kook.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And like, I was just this park kid.
Comes in and annihilates everybody.
Exactly. Like the first comp was pretty freestyle-y kind of phase, the first comp.
Yeah.
But the comp after was pretty big mountain. So I remember on the top of this comp, on the face, there was this other athlete coming up to me saying like, "Oh, are you ready for some real freeride now, Stinius?" He asked me, because I just won the freestyle freeride comp.
Right.
But now we're in the big mountains.
He's trying to play some head
games.
Yeah,
he was like, "Oh, are you ready for real freeride now?" I was like, "Yeah, I guess I am."
Do you remember who it was?
No, I didn't really remember.
Yeah, you see, buddy?
Yeah,
I don't even remember who you were.
No.
Look at me now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I should try to remember. But yeah, I ended up winning that comp.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, fuck, so much happening. And yeah, I got Norwegian champion, and ended that whole freeride cup in April. I was gonna go into the military end of May. So I was like, should I should I go into the military now, or should I?
Oh, you got a taste of this sweet, sweet powder.
Exactly.
Yeah, a
Or
little
should
taste of success. You're like, actually, I'm allergic to more antibiotics than I thought.
Exactly.
You write a letter, write another letter.
The thing I did, it's not too far from what you said, but I have I injured my thumb some years ago, and I had a surgery, and I can't really feel it when it gets cold.
Oh yeah.
So I went to the doctor, and I said, I have these issues with my thumb. I don't think I'm able to shoot, like, I don't think I'm that too good with guns or
Right.
like rifles when it gets cold. Maybe you can tell that to, because it always have to go through your doctor.
So in the span of like 6 months, you're like, I'm gonna go to the army, and they're like, no, you can't, and you're like, I really want to go. So you work and you like write letters and you put all this energy into going to getting into the army.
Exactly.
And then you go skiing. You realize, oh, this is way better. And now you're trying to do
To
whatever you
get
can to get out.
I know. So I got out again, and then like I was with this doctor, and he was like, "Are you telling me this because you just don't want to go in, or?" Because he was like young and like, yeah, and I was like, yeah, I'm not too stoked to go in. And it was like,
he's like, but didn't we just write all these letters for you?
Okay, I just read it, and I got out. And then they said like, okay, if you want to try to get in again, you're not getting in, because now it's been like back and forth.
You're not allowed.
Yeah, I'm not allowed. So
you got a little like, do you have a little bit of like, what if?
Yeah, of course. I don't know. I was like planning, maybe like I had no other like big plans. So I was maybe planning to make a career in the military or something.
Interesting.
Because I had two older cousins that went pretty far in the military, so that of course inspired me.
What did they tell you when they heard that story? Do they know that story?
I think I think they do. I think my grandpa, because he was working in the military.
So you come from like a military family?
Yeah, kinda.
Right.
And he was pretty like big dog in the military. And I think he was maybe a little bummed, because I think he's always been so excited when some of his grandchildren's go in.
Right.
Like that's really.
If you wanted to go in, I'm sure you could just call him up and he'd like call a couple people. And
maybe
he'd write a couple letters.
Maybe. Yeah. So yeah, the military didn't happen. I'm not quite sure what I did that summer. I was probably just chilling and working a bit.
Yeah.
And then I got reached out by Mammoth.
Oh yeah.
That brand.
Yeah.
Like, wow, holy shit, what's going on? Like, my first clothing.
Because I guess you were just like, because it sounds like you just were finding I'm gonna go on a ski comp. Like, you're not like trying to be a pro skier.
No,
right?
That was not my plan.
And they just saw your name as like, this guy won, and there's probably a conversation somewhere being like, who is this guy?
Yeah,
he won.
Yeah,
both, and he's like the overall. Like, who is he? I don't know. Does he have any sponsors?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
What?
No, I was just writing for my local shop.
Right.
So I was like, I had no name in the industry. I had nothing. So I signed with Mammoth, because I was like, okay, like a clothing company reaching out to me. That was like insane for me. And the funny thing, the day after I signed, I went to my local shop, VPG, Vertical Playground, real good shop from my hometown. And Trygve, one of the owners, he said that Arcteryx had reached out to him, asking him if he knew any potential new athletes, because Arcteryx they just got this new athlete team manager that was going to make a new team.
For Europe?
Yeah, for Europe.
Right.
So he was going to make a new team. And VPG, my shop, is like the biggest ski shop in Norway. So they reach out to him to like, because they know like the riders, you know.
Yeah.
And he asked me like, yeah, and I was thinking about you. What do you think? And I was like, damn, but I just signed with Mammoth yesterday.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell is going on? And he was like, oh, that's a bummer.
Or congratulations.
Yeah, of course. But he was, because he really likes, Trygve really likes Arcteryx.
Right.
Of course. And,
As the brand.
yeah, and they reached out to him, and he had to tell him that I couldn't. So he was like, okay.
How long was that first contract for?
1 year.
Okay. That's not so bad.
Yeah, so we told him that I was signed already. And then Arcteryx reached back and said, yeah, we can wait 1 year.
Very cool.
Yeah. So
you're like, I'm going to enjoy my time and there's no stress when that one's done.
Yeah.
You know, like.
So they could wait 1 year. So the thing I was thinking about, like, they could, of course, said, okay, we just find, because there's a bunch, because they really wanted a new male Scandinavian athlete. So it could be like a Norwegian or a Swedish or a Finnish, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And there's so many good like Swedish skiers, so they could for sure just said, okay, that's too bad, we take this Swedish guy. But they actually waited 1 year. So for me, that's like pretty unreal that they did.
Right.
Like if they just signed maybe someone else,
and you
I would
been
probably
like,
not be here right now, I think.
You never know.
Yeah,
you'd be
never
like
know.
always wondering if I wonder what it would have been like, you know,
Yeah.
whatever. But the fact that they must have really wanted you is pretty neat.
Yeah, that was like, for me, that was just
Builds,
so much.
builds like a want to like, and like a loyalty, I bet. Too, right?
Exactly. So after that, like, they waited. It was my new team manager, Tanguy. That is like the best guy, and they waited, and yeah, just everything, because I was never like really trying to.
Yeah, it seems like everything just kind of happened.
Yeah, it just happened.
It's just the way it was supposed to be.
Yeah, and when I think about it now, it's like, it's crazy. It just happened, just these random moments, you know, and just happened. I signed with Arc, and the rest is kind of history, I guess.
And that was when, 2019, you said?
That was, I signed with them, 2019.
Because I was wondering about that too, is because there aren't a ton of like European athletes. Like like I said, in the last 5 years, they've started to reach out. You know, like they got Craig Murray on the team. You know, Kiwi guy who's one of the best skiers on the planet, in my opinion.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, like yourself now, and like I was like, Stinius, like, who's Stinius? Like I didn't really know who you were until last fall when we met.
Yeah.
So that's really cool, man. And then did you come out here? So you're living in Pemberton this year.
Yeah.
Did you come out here to be, obviously, because Whistler is the bomb. The place is awesome, and there's like sledding available. Like it's like when people like they want to be an actor, they move to Hollywood. People want to be a pro skier. It's not a bad idea to move to like places like Whistler or Jackson, or you know.
Yeah.
But the head office is also down in North Van.
Yeah, exactly.
So is that kind of all part of the move out here?
Exactly. The last years, I've been traveling a lot. You know, a lot of back and forth, Europe, Canada, US, a lot of back and forth. And this year I was really keen to like have a base somewhere. I never really had that before. So then like Whistler, Pemberton was of course a good place to be. I was
a lot of teammates in
exactly
this area.
And of course, being closer to the office, the Arcteryx office, is of course a big plus. I got Tom Pfeiffer, one of my best friends around here. So yeah, and also I just wanted to try this whole Canadian thing. You know, I got a sled, a truck. Just want to learn how to like. I'm used to just ski touring, you know, mostly. If you want to get to the good stuff, so I was just really keen to really just experience something different and just try this Canadian
lifestyle.
Exactly.
How's it working for you?
Right now it's pretty good. Like I got here end of November.
Yeah, so I was gonna start talking to you about this before we started, and I waited for this conversation. We've had the shittiest start of any winter ever.
Yeah.
But this week,
I
was like, "Hi, you've been having a good time this week?" You're like, "Oh yeah, man." Like this week is a little bit more normal, and I'm so happy that you actually got a chance to experience it, where it's not just one snowfall and then Like the last couple of years, we've had a good snowfall, and then it almost rains right away before the storm's over, and then it gets cold and icy. And it's like the last 2 or 3 years, they haven't been great seasons, and then we've had a lot of that. But this week, it snowed, and it snowed more, and it snowed more, and there was a little break, and then it snowed again. Yeah. Like this is kind of what when I think of Whistler, when I want to explain it to people, or when I think about it fondly on how I want to remember it, this week is how I remember this town. Yeah. Like a week ago, you could see the grass in my yard. Yeah. Now there's 2 feet of snow back there.
Yeah, it's so good. It's
pretty sweet, man. Yeah. So have you been like skiing mostly on the mountain, or have you been out shooting? What have you been doing this week?
On the mountain, a bunch. Also went sledding for the first time on my own sled on Sunday. Yeah. So
are you still sore?
Yeah, I'm so sore. Like my knees and my legs are so beat up.
Oh, there's a key. Go get a pair of mountain bike knee pads.
Yeah, I should. Yeah. I heard. But yeah, I got here end of November. I was like, okay, because I've always been sitting at my home in Oppdal in Norway and always looking, on Instagram, and people around here are skiing like deep pow in December all the time. And in Europe, it's been like nothing. So I was like, okay, this year I'm gonna go, and I'm gonna be on it. I'm gonna start shooting and skiing POW in December. And December was like
it was reversed.
It was reversed. Like at home in Norway and also Europe, it was like firing. It was like people were skiing so deep.
It's amazing.
At home, like my house in Norway is just like 5-10 minutes from the resort. So easy. But I was here, no snow, it was just raining, slush. I was like, okay, I'm spending all this money and I'm not doing anything. So I was like, a little bummer, like not too stoked, So then we came to January, still no snow. And I was like, okay, I have to get out of here.
Yeah.
So I went to Japan for a month.
You were there for a month?
Yeah.
Oh, exciting.
Yeah, so that was a good call. And then I went to Europe after that for 2.5 weeks, and then I just got back here like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. And
now it's March.
Yeah.
So I haven't really spent that much time here.
Right. Well, you got here at the right time.
Yeah, but now I'm staying.
Because now you see what it can do.
Yeah, now I'm staying, and it's been so good the last days, and now I'm freaking stoked.
We're getting more next weekend.
Yeah.
So we've had years like this in the past where you have a pretty, usually some like years where it's been like maybe decent in December, and then January, February were not good.
Yeah.
And then March, I don't know, you've probably heard this from many people, but like a lot of times March turns on.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Mega March, Magic March, and it's starting. I'm so excited.
Yeah.
Like I remember years where it was just such a shit year, and you're just like emotionally stressed and angry.
Yeah.
Like I remember once, it's probably my third or fourth season here, and it was like one of the worst seasons. I think it's 2003, one of the worst seasons, starts of the season ever. And I remember walking to work or something one day, and I just stopped and was like, "Jah!" I just started yelling. I was by myself. I was like, "Ah!" Just to like release this frustration. I'm like, "When's it gonna snow?" Yeah. But then that year, it just the switch flicked, and it just turned on. And after like a couple weeks of like shredding like POW 2 or 3 times a week or more, and just it's soft and it's good, and like you're skiing with your buds and you're having a good time, and you're by the end of that like next couple weeks, I was like, you know what, like pretty good season so far. You almost forget about all of that, even though it's 2 months of just despair and like sadness. After like a good week and a half, 2 weeks of like every day, you're like, actually good, I'm good now, I'm right. Yeah, it doesn't matter anymore.
It's crazy. Like the last days just been skiing pretty much powder every day, and finally everything feels like it's worth it.
Your body starts to like get sore, and you're like ski tired at the end of the day. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's the best for me. That's the best feeling, to feel a little tired and sore. I think that's one of the best feelings.
I agree. Yeah, I agree. But you're still of the age where you don't know what's going to be sore. Yeah. When you get a little bit older, you know, like you still get sore when you're skiing, or like you like. but you know what's like. Raina Barker had told me this. He's like, I used to get sore when I was a kid skiing like Huck Neck and whatever, but now that I'm a little bit older, I know exactly what's going to be sore on top of all the other stuff. To like keep working on it. So a couple other things too. So that's cool. I like now I know your story, which is good. And I always tell people like I always wait to ask them for till they're on the show. And then afterwards I'm like, all right, cool. Now I know him like so much better. And then hang out and shred or whatever. So you're also big into music.
Yeah.
So I knew this just from some research, but you even mentioned it already. You're a DJ as well.
Yeah.
What kind of DJ?
Yeah, like it's a pretty fun story as well. So DJing was like my first job ever.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. So I was starting DJing, and I bought this big like sound setup that I was renting out.
Like a PA?
Yeah. A big PA. I was too young to have my driver license. So
how old were you?
I bought it when I was maybe like 16, 15, 16, I think.
And were you like spinning?
Yeah, like there was a bunch, like in Norway we have this thing called russ. That is like when you're on the senior year of high school, you just like celebrate, you party. People get like buses, like to make like big groups where just go to like
a pub crawl or a party. Like yeah.
They just like party from April till 17th of May, where they just go party and
for like 6 weeks.
Yeah, like for a month ish.
Really?
Like go to shows, and it's, you have to look it up. It's pretty fun. So before that time, before the russetid, those kind of groups throws parties to make money, because they usually buy vans or buses that their group kind of have together. So they just party in those vans or buses for a month.
Right.
So they throw parties, and I was like, okay. They always ask me, because they asked me if I wanted to play at those parties.
Because you had started playing music.
Yeah, because I was just starting playing. I was just playing on this random birthday party for this older girl, just super random. Just like I just bought this deck for $50. Had no idea what I was doing, just playing on this party for nothing almost. And then some other people on that party asked me if I could play in their birthday party. I was like, okay. Also this time I had no plan of becoming a DJ.
This is the theme of this episode of like your life. It seems like everything just kind of happens to you, and then you just go with it.
Exactly.
Like you're putting in, like, you're taking a first step by going to like going to a ski competition. I'll try and learn a little bit of the like how these decks work or whatever. It seems like every time you take a step towards something, it just like a landslides and you're like, oh, I guess I'm doing this now.
Yeah, I never really thought about it in that way, but it's true. Like I just started like it all started with, I had this friend. He was gonna play in this birthday party, but he also wanted to party. So he asked if I could like be a backup DJ.
Right.
So I kind of just ended up playing there. And then there's another girl asked me if I could play in her birthday party. Kind of just...
It kept happening?
Yeah, it was just happening.
You're like, Stinius... I know a DJ's name's Stinius.
Yeah, and I bought a little better setup, just playing in those parties. And then the Russ was starting to throwing parties, and they asked me if I could play. And then they also asked me, do you have a sound setup? No, I said. So they rented sound setup from someone else. And I was like, okay. Then I should buy a sound setup so I could rent out DJ and sound.
Right.
So I was doing that.
Smart.
Yeah, I had my dad driving me around with a big, like, we had all the sound in like this,
like a van or...
Yeah, like behind the car, dragging it around, putting it up. Like making a little bit of money with that. And then the local club asked me if I could start a play, and I was like 16, and you had to be 18 to get in. So I was like this young kid playing there.
Yeah.
And then
your dad would just be sitting watching it.
No, then I didn't have, because they had their own sound system.
Right.
So then it
No, I mean, like, but you're 16, so like your
Yeah.
dad's got a chaperone. He's got to sit in the VIP booth, waiting for his kid to be finished.
It was usually pretty close, like not too far from the house.
Yeah.
So he usually drove me there, and then he left, and then I got to ride with somebody else, and then we went the day after to.
So
pick
you're
it up.
going, like, you're DJing these parties in these nightclubs
Yeah.
with these like Norwegian, like adult Norwegian women.
Yeah.
And you're like this 16-year-old kid DJing, being like, holy shit, like big dudes and like chicks in like club attire. Like, it must have been wild for you.
Yeah, and also like I started playing in this 18-year-old club we had, but we also had this other club that was 20 years old to get in.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What's the drinking age there?
18.
It's 18.
But for booze you have to be
And then why do they have like a 20 club? Just because like there's
just to
there's
like
a big
maybe
difference.
change the client,
The demographic, yeah, because like 18 and 19 is,
18 is mostly like, that's like for the
you're still kids. You're
Yeah,
young.
it's still
When you're
kids.
20, you're still young, but you're not as young.
exactly.
Yeah.
So and that was like always like my dream at that time, because I heard that was, I never been there, because I
Right.
never was old enough, and then I got asked to play there, and I was still like 17, 18 when I started playing there. So I was like, so I've kind of been in like the nightlife industry since I was really young.
Right.
So I've seen a lot. So that was also my first, like, how I could afford to ski a lot during high school and the year after high school. I was usually doing gigs, sometimes 3 times a weekend.
And you go till when, like 1 or 2 in the morning?
Yeah.
And then
So
you
I-
gotta get up and go to school the next day?
Yeah, no, this was in the weekends.
Okay.
So I was just playing Friday, Saturday. So I was playing Friday, and then on Saturday I was on. This was like a big weekend. It was usually just 1 or 2, but sometimes 3 gigs. So Friday and then Saturday I was playing après from 4 till 7.
Mhm.
Then I was playing in the club from 11 till 3. So then I had like 2 gigs Saturday, 1 gig Friday, and I was still living at home, so I didn't have that much expenses.
Yeah.
So then I was just skiing the rest of the week, and then gigs in the weekend again.
Weren't you going to school during the week?
Yeah, but I also did this a year after
That's
after
awesome.
school.
Starting your DJ career.
Yeah, because
And was this like, were you deciding on, was this happening at the same time you were deciding whether you were going to go to the army or not?
yeah.
Did they ask? Did they,
Because the year after high school, I didn't really know what to do.
right.
So I was like, okay.
Even though you're making good money and like you're like DJing at these clubs and you're
Yeah,
like,
but
it wasn't fulfilling enough for you?
Yeah, of course, but it was like a little loose. Like, I loved to ski, and I felt the DJing was like
Getting in the way.
a really good way to make like quick, like
Yeah.
not easy money, but I could make enough on 2 days, and I didn't have to work the rest of the week,
Yeah.
and then I could just ski.
That sounds like a straight up ski job, man.
Yeah,
Like, just-
exactly. It's
so-
a pretty good way. So people were like, "Wow, that's a pretty good way to do
Oh,
it."
you're a DJ? That's so cool.
Yeah,
man.
like
yeah.
DJing and skiing like really works.
It does. I know many like a lot of DJs in town. There's this one place in town called Brandy's.
Yeah.
It's changed. I think it's changed names now. It's the Cake, but they would have like a DJ play every night, and it wasn't like a nightclub, but it was like kind of a sports bar that would then turn into like, you know, a place to have drinks above ground. It wasn't like a party kind of thing. You've probably been there. Brandy's, really, the Cake.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's above. Yeah, it's the only place that's above ground that's open till 2.
Yeah.
And they have a DJ there every night. So there was a while there that I would get off work at the restaurant I was at, and that's where you'd go for a drink after.
Nice.
And for a while, every single night was a different DJ, but I knew them all.
Yeah.
So they're all friends of mine. So I'd get there before people arrive, and I would sit down and chat with them. And like,
That's fun.
it's such a good ski town job, because it's, if you can get one of those kind of jobs where you're not up till 4 in the morning, you can get up and go skiing. It's good, but that's why I ended up serving tables and working in restaurants for 20 years, just because I get to ride every day.
Yeah.
It doesn't get in the way. It's decent money,
Yeah, exactly.
you know? Are you still doing any DJ stuff?
Yeah, I am. Like before, I'm not, of course, doing it that much.
You should have an Arcteryx party. You should host an Arcteryx party.
Yeah, I should. I was playing at the academy.
Were you?
Yeah, we had this staff party, so I played there this year and last year. I also played on the academy in Austria that we just had. But like after I was like starting to, make some money from skiing, I haven't had that much focus on like DJing anymore.
Right.
But I really try to do just gigs that I really want to do. Like before DJing was my only income. So I was like doing weddings, après, birthday, like everything. But now I just try to like do stuff that I really want to do.
What kind of music?
It's a lot of of course techno music, minimal house, breakbeat, some Afro house. I just like, it doesn't always have to be like one genre, but I love to like blend genres together as long as it just have a good groove, like something special about it. I think you can like mix it together.
Make it work.
Just get some drums and just try to make it as a full experience instead of just going one genre all night.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah,
that's cool, man.
Yeah,
I didn't know that. I'm gonna keep that in mind.
Yeah,
like I said, I throw parties.
Yeah,
for events.
sure. Think about it, and also I would love to play somewhere in Whistler. I haven't really played.
Do you live with Tom?
No, I live with Jake Carney and Teal Harley.
Yeah, because I see like a lot of that crew every once in a while. They'll have like decks and people out on the decks. Like like Sam Tuff's trying to DJ. Have you been giving her some pointers? Because I know she's starting to get gigs now, but she's still fairly new at it, right?
She's pretty new, but she's really, really good. Yeah, she learned fast.
Yeah, you guys go back and forth.
Yeah, we've been talking a little bit about maybe throw a party or an event.
Doing some duo nights, right? Go
like get a back to back.
Get a night at like a bar or a restaurant or something like that, and just do a.
We'd be pretty sick.
Yeah,
pretty sick. Yeah, I'm stoked to play her. I think I'm not gonna be mean or something, but for me I'm really the things I'm most passionate about in life is skiing and music.
Yeah.
And the music scene in Whistler, it's okay, but I think for sure they have room for maybe some different styles sometimes.
And do you write or make your own music, or are you pretty much just DJing?
I just love to dig after music. There's so much good music out there.
Yeah.
So I don't really feel the need to make my own stuff.
And are you a record guy, or are you mostly digital?
I'm for sure want to get more into records, but right now it's just digital. Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah. So having a gig somewhere in Whistler will be pretty fun. Yeah, in a good location one day.
Interesting.
We'll see.
Right,
maybe it's gonna happen.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
I'm gonna put you on my list for sure. Yeah. We're gonna get you DJ tonight at IF3 this year.
Yeah.
Let's make it happen.
That would be so dope.
Yeah. We'll do the locals crew.
Yeah.
Have a real good party.
Yeah, it's gonna be good.
I like it. Very cool, man. So do you spend a lot of your time listening? What do you listen to music when you ski or when you ride?
Yeah. Sometimes, but for me it's I usually ride, or when I ride with people I don't listen to music, because when I listen to music I can't really just listen on one ear, because I want to have full focus on the music. I want good sound instead of just having a little bit of sound, so then I'd rather don't listen to music.
Yeah, I'm exactly the same.
Yeah,
exactly the same. When I'm riding with people, there's never anything in my ears, but if I'm on my own, I'll put it in.
Exactly. Yeah. It's full on or nothing.
Do you find that when you're skiing by yourself and you get your headphones in and you're listening to tunes and you start going fast, down a groomer or something, and the wind starts getting in your ears and you can't hear the song quite as much? Do you get annoyed?
Yeah.
I do. I'm oh man, I'm these headphones don't go far enough, or there's wind getting in there. I'm this song's really, really good. So I'm trying to listen to the song, but I'm going so fast that the wind's in my ears, and that kind of bothers me, just because I'm an audiophile too. I listen to a ton of music.
Yeah, exactly. But usually when I ski and I'm really focused, I can't really hear the music anyways, because I'm so into what I'm doing. So I'm usually using my music to get me psyched up on the way into the run.
Right.
And when I'm in the run, I can't hear it anyways, even though I'm going fast or slow. I'm just so in my own mind that I can't hear the sound.
Yeah.
And then when I'm done, I can listen to the song again.
Yeah. You're hearing it, but you're not listening to it. Kind of thing. Yeah.
Exactly.
It's just in the background. You know?
Exactly.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the kind of how I think about it too. That's really cool, man. Like, like we're gonna have to have another. I think we're gonna have to sit down for another conversation because there's a lot more about you too. Like, you're a big skater too. Did you get a chance to like hit up Whistler Park?
Not yet. I just tried out Squamish Park last summer.
You didn't skate Whistler Skate Park because you were gone. You were gone for like a month and a half.
Yeah, but I haven't really been here.
That's true.
And also I haven't been here in the summer.
There's a lot of skaters in town. Like Kai Peterson's got a bowl in his backyard.
I know. We'd love to go one day.
Yeah. Hopefully not for a while because we don't want the snow to melt yet because we just got it. Like we can it can stick around for a little while.
Yeah, for sure.
Right on. Do you have any other big projects or missions coming up that may turn into a unique story or
this winter?
A unique film? Yeah.
Been like when I was in Japan, I went out with MSP.
Mm-hmm.
So that's.
Is that your first time with them?
No, my second time.
Yep.
I was also in their last movie, but yeah, this one made a Japan segment for them. Other than that, I've just been really into like. Just my main focus has really been like getting into like the sled skiing and that kind of stuff. So I don't have any other like big personal projects. Hopefully like some smaller ones to post on my YouTube is the plan.
Yeah. What's the YouTube channel?
My YouTube channel?
Yeah.
It's just my name. Yeah.
Stinius
Skjøtskift.
Skjøtskift, yes.
Yeah. You probably find it if you just search Stinius.
Right. Yeah. There's not many Stiniuses.
Exactly.
Is it a unique name in Norway?
It's really unique. When I was born, it was just me and two others.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That you knew in your town.
No, in all over the world.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, like your full name, first and last?
No, just my first name.
How do you know there's only two?
Because there's a register, you can search it.
Oh, really?
And then I remember.
There's a register for names?
Yeah.
Like so first names?
Yeah.
Interesting.
So I searched maybe, it's been a while, but maybe 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And it was 8 people.
Yeah.
With that name. And then the last time I checked, I think it was like around 18.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Did you not, even though there was 2, did you not, because I was looking at your Instagram, you spell Stinius with a 9.
Yeah.
Stinius.
Yeah.
Right? This is because Stinius wouldn't have been taken. Like, is your email like Stinius Skjøtskift?
No, it's actually Stinius at Oppdal, my hometown.
Okay.
.com.
But you know what I mean? Like, you have this like very unique opportunity.
I know, but
to get your name.
Yeah, somebody
got it.
And I like, I'm so keen to have it, but the Stinius on Instagram, it's just a profile with 0, like nothing.
Right.
So it's just someone that just made the profile.
Oh, what?
So it's a little bummer. I'm gonna try, but the thing with this Stinius, the story about that, so many people ask me because
9.
Yeah, because so many people I meet thinks my name is Stinius.
Stinius.
Yeah, Stinius.
Stinius.
Yeah, but the thing the 9 in Norwegian, a 9 is ni, N-I.
Stini. Yeah. Okay.
So
it works for you.
Yeah, it works in Norwegian.
Yeah.
But for others, it can be a little confusing.
Right.
But that's then the 9 is N-I, so that's S-T-I.
I like it. I like it. That
so
much
it's a little thing around it.
I dig it. We were talking about like logos before we started. You could do like a sweet. Do you have like a sweet Stinius logo with the 9?
No, but the 9 is.
Do you have like a branded, like you should create a logo for yourself? With let's chat.
Yeah, the 9 is kind of just became a little special number.
Yeah, I like it. Is that your favorite number?
Yeah, it is.
Because it's your name. Yeah, sweet action.
Yeah.
Who else are some of your sponsors?
I ride for Sweet Protection, Norwegian helmet and goggle company. Super dope for me. The best helmets in the game, I think, and looks so nice. And My other sponsor is Forefront Skis, American ski company,
Yep.
based out of Vermont.
Used to be Utah.
Yep.
Are they still Vermont? Because I know
they're like the thing.
I know J Skis bought them and then they sold them.
The whole like headquarter is in Vermont.
It is in Vermont now. Yeah.
But the manufacturer is in Canada.
Interesting. Yeah, they've had a lot of changes in the last few years. Like I skied the Hojies, the big Hojies for a couple years.
Yep.
And they were like, I'm like, oh, Hoji gets it. You know, I always tell people this. I'm like, when you step into a ski for the first time and you're like demoing a new ski or trying a new ski, and it usually takes, you know, a run or two, maybe a day or two, depending on what it is, to like understand how to use that ski, or how you are able to understand that ski. Where do I need to be? What kind of pressure do I need to be? Where's my stance? You know, like, it takes a little bit to figure it out. Those Hojies, I snapped into them, and I was like, oh, he made them for me. I was like, this is exactly the ski that I want. Like, I didn't have to adjust. I was like, oh, this is for me.
Yeah. It's such a good ski. Holy shit.
Yeah, and you're skiing on the Thane.
Yeah, skiing on the Thane ski and the Renegade.
I haven't seen Thane in a long time. He was on the show years ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah, many years ago, and then he ended up coming through here not long after, and I think he crashed here for a night. I just remembered that now.
Oh, really?
I think he crashed here for a night, but I haven't seen him in years.
Yeah, he was supposed to come up here, but we had no snow, so he was just staying down in Salt Lake.
Oh, wow.
But yeah,
I'd like to see that guy again. He's a good dude.
Yeah, we should make him come up.
And you like his ski?
Yeah, it's such a good like powder freestyle ski. And also like the Renegade, that is like the biggest ski in the Hoji collection.
Yeah,
it's for sure like, for me, it's just having a powder ski that is like got this surfy playful feeling.
You can get it on edge, but it's like super surfy, super playful, especially in a place like this when there's like a lot of tree skiing.
Yeah,
and you're not really just taking GS turns or taking big like Alaskan carves. You gotta like be super nimble.
Exactly, it's a big ski, but it's just so playful and surfy, so it's kind of easy, even though it's big, to get around in the trees.
Yeah,
I feel.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
No, I absolutely agree.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
And my last sponsor, VPG, my local ski shop. Yeah, they've been supporting me since I was still competing in the park. So that's a pretty fun story as well. How much do we have some time?
Yeah, why not? Give her, yeah.
Yeah, the thing is that VPG used to own shares in Forefront.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, way back, like Matt Sturban's times.
Yeah.
So they used to own shares in Forefront. So when I got on the VPG team, they gave me gear, and they used to own shares in Forefront. So of course they gave me Forefront skis. So I was skiing Forefront skis through VPG for many years, until just like 3-4 years ago, and Forefront reached out and like, whoa, we've seen you've been ripping on your skis for many years. You want to come on like the team?
Yeah.
So I kind of just ended up on the Forefront.
It's another one where it just works. It's the same.
Exactly. So that's why Forefront been like, I've been like skiing those skis since I was so young.
Yeah.
So that's also gives like Forefront a really, like, for me, a really special place in my heart.
Right.
Yeah.
I love it, man. All of these things that just work out for you. You're like, it's just things you just kind of are in the right place at the right time, and they just happen and develop in the right way.
Exactly. And I'm not gonna like say too much, but there's some fun stuff happening with Forefront and me.
Oh yeah.
In the years.
And you can't say yet.
I think I wanna.
You're gonna keep it loose. Is it a project that you're working on? Is it a ski potentially?
Yeah, we'll see.
All right, you heard it here first.
Yeah.
It's the Stinius Pro model.
Yeah, I just wanna,
he said it. Did you hear what he said? No, he didn't say it.
We should just start to hype it up. But there's some.
You got some stuff. You're working on some stuff.
Working on some stuff, and I think it's gonna be pretty cool.
I like it.
Yeah.
Cool, man.
Yeah.
Thanks for swinging by, dude. I'm glad we could make this happen.
Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. And then Lexicon film. Everybody should go check that out. It's pretty cool. It's like 13 minutes.
Yep.
The last question for you. The very last shot in the film with that beautiful light, and it's like the drone shot, and you guys are skiing through like those Japanese trees, and you can see the background.
Yeah.
Is that a sunset or is that a sunrise
It's
shot?
sunset.
It's a sunset. I
Yeah,
was thinking
that was
that.
the last run of the day.
Yeah, I was like, is that I couldn't tell. I'm like, is that in the morning or is that in the evening? It was like this beautiful pink orange light. What a good shot to end
Yeah,
on.
it was a good moment.
Yeah, cool film. So go check that out. It's on the Arcteryx website, or you can see it on YouTube, Lexicon, and they can follow you, Stinius STIN9 or STI9
Yeah,
US.
Yeah.
Yeah, right on, man.
Thank you
Thanks
for having me.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thanks for coming by.
You've been listening to the Low Pressure Podcast, the podcast for skiers. This has been a Redmark Media production.